Hello, Ahmed.
Oh, nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name's Kelly. I'm from England.
Where are you from?
England.
Oh, nice, England.
Yes.
Uh, you live in England right now or outside England?
No, I'm in Thailand at the moment. So
Ah, you are resident in Thailand?
I'm traveling
Mm.
around Southeast Asia.
Mm.
So I've been in
Traveling,
Thailand.
traveling, traveling
Yes, traveling
for your business or as a tourist?
for leisure as a tourist. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So
Have a good journey.
yes, I've had a really good journey. Thank you.
Okay.
I went to.
Let me ask you, Mr. Kelly, I want to ask you about the phrasal verbs. Uh, do you think it's phrasal verbs is necessary to a person who want to learn English?
Yes, because you will come across them. You will come across words and phrases that people say
Mm,
um, during
mm,
during discussions, and um, you will wonder what they mean if you don't if you don't
mm.
if you don't know what they are. It's part of like English is part of like everyday language. So and the phrasal verbs are used frequently in both formal and informal settings.
Do, do you have website to for phrasal verbs?
I don't have a website, but I'm sure you can search a website. Um,
Mm.
do you want me to talk through some now with you?
Huh?
Would you like me to share some with you?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, bear with me. Let's see what I can come up with. So, um, so some of these things you might already say when um, when you're speaking, and you may not realise that it's a phrasal verb. So if you
Okay.
think about
Yes. What about the native speaker? Is the native speaker use the phrasal verbs in the conversation or what they speak?
all the time,
No,
a
all the
native
time.
speaker,
The phrasal verbs. It's part of the conversation.
yes, it's part of our everyday conversation. We use phrasal verbs all the time. It's just natural,
Mm,
and
mm,
I think it would be wise to learn some of the most common ones rather than
mm.
and like I said, you probably already say some of them and know what some of them means, but without realizing it's a phrasal verb. So my advice would be to like research the top 20 phrasal verbs, most common or top 20 common phrasal verbs, and then their definition, and then learn them. Is there a reason you're wanting to learn them? Do you need to
Okay.
sit a test?
Yes, I want to take care of the phrasal verbs because phrasal verbs is part of necessary to someone to learn English. And the native speaker use it in the daily routine and the conversation. What about the phrasal verbs? Is this defined for the beginner, medium, for the all levels of English language, advanced, intermediate?
Sorry, would you say that again for me?
Okay. The phrasal verbs, are they divided to the levels in English language or no? For example,
Yes.
there's some phrasal verbs for beginners. There's some phrasal verbs for intermediate. There's some phrasal verbs for up intermediate, and others for the advanced. or not?
Yeah.
There's one package for the phrasal verbs.
Yeah, so phrasal verbs, not to my knowledge, aren't categorized in English levels, because it's not about, the words are two or three different words that mean different things when they're put together. So
Yes.
I think it's about knowing, as you go through the levels of learning English, you learn phrasal verbs as part of that. But I wouldn't say that they are all categorized into, A1, A2, C1, C2. By the time you reach C2, you would know most of them anyway. But some of them you may, like I say, you may already know without knowing that you know them. So if I said to
Mr.
you,
Kellie, is there a British website to learn full English grammar, vocabulary, reading, writing, listening, speaking?
do you have access to Do you have access to YouTube? Do you have access to YouTube?
Yeah, you can access the YouTube. I live in YouTube. I always look for about some ways to improve English, how to teach English, how to learn the vocabularies, and listen to the stories. Sometimes to write after them when they speak, after sometimes to spell, sometimes to re-speak about that. But I look for about the British website. Is there a British website or just the British Council?
Yeah, so you can look at the British Council's a good one, or I'm trying to think, Cambridge English.
Oh,
Cambridge,
nice.
yes,
It's really amazing website. It's
yes,
fantastic. There's a lot of topics to explain step by step about how to learn English, how to learn verbs, nouns, complete, so many different things. Let me ask you about something I designed by myself. Maybe it's wrong, maybe it's right. When someone lost his speak or speechless, right? When someone to
yes,
be totally speechless, we can't say re-speak when after to see doctors and doctors to give him treatment or make him to operation and he speak back. Can we say re-speak?
re-speak.
Yes. After that?
No, we would say repeat. So
Huh?
repeat we would say the word repeat. To repeat what you've
Uh,
already said means to say it
uh,
again.
repeat?
Repeat, yes.
Yes.
If
Okay.
I understand you correctly.
Okay. Let me ask you about you are tutor or native speaker?
Both.
Both of them? Okay. How long have you been teaching in Cambly?
4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months? Okay. How long have you been? How long have you need some person to learn English? Adults. I know the babies. It's learning more than more faster than the adults. You know because
Yes.
there's a very high response for their mind. Okay. What about the adults? How long have you been the adults need to learn English? 1 year, two
Yeah.
years, or depend how to output and input?
Yeah. So I couldn't put a time on it. I've been teaching people from all over the world to speak English for years and
Yes.
years and years. And some people you speak to and they continue to learn. Others, maybe their reason for speaking English is to pass a test or pass an interview or to stay in a country for a limited amount of time. I've taught English to people that have already learned English, then they've gone home to their native country, and after 2 years they've forgotten. So we have to re-practice and relearn. So I think
that's mean always practice.
Yeah, you have to always practice. It's like anything, other than riding a bike, because riding a bike, I don't think you ever forget how to ride a bike. But most things, if we stop doing them, we forget.
Maybe we forgot. Do you think it's focusing on the four skills it's useful for everyday listening, speaking, reading, writing? This is important. I think on British. Do you think it's focusing on the four skills to learn English by speaking, reading, writing?
Yes, they're the skills that you need to focus on. Reading, they all have different.
If I give every skills, for example, I talk for 30 minutes with myself or in front of the mirror, and after that to write what I read, what I speak. After that, I read. After I record my speech. Do you think that's way it's improved my English language immediately?
I absolutely think that's a great way to improve your English language ability. I think recording yourself speak, listening to a native speaker, recording yourself speak is really, really helpful. Google Translate is great for that because you can write in the words you want to say, the sentence, it will translate it into English, and you can press the speak option.
But I think Google translate. It's not very good in translate. Sometimes to be stupid with the translate.
Okay, if you put in what you wanted to say in English and press the speaker option, it will tell you how to say it in English. So you don't need to use it for translate. Yeah.
I know that the Google sometimes to tell me that, but it's difficult to translate the idioms and the slang language.
It is.
Google yes. Google Translate sometimes translate only the formal language, but I use the Cambridge Translate. That's amazing.
Cambridge
Translate. That's Cambridge Translate. That's sometimes to translate all the language, formal and informal, slang, idioms, and I think it's better than Google. Okay. Do you think it's learning language with the grammar or both of them?
Yes, because you can't learn the language at the same. You can't learn the language without using the grammar. So I think it's really difficult when you're teaching. When you're teaching English, you have to find words that. That's okay. Don't worry. It's fine. I'm not in the room, so you didn't get me wet. But when you're learning language, you need to do it at the same time. But you have to choose words that the person learning the language understands. So it is all about using the vocabulary, using grammar, sentence structure. There's lots of different ways to do it, but I believe if you're teaching English, you should only speak to people in English and explain the meaning and the words
What about my English language right now? Do you think it's what about my level? Do you speak with me 14 or more than 14 minutes? Which level right now?
So I can only say by your speaking level, and I think you're speaking like maybe B1, B2. I think the nature of your country is to speak really fast, and I think you could just slow it down a little bit, which would really help you.
But my English, it's good or bad right now?